Well, I want to start out the first part of this with a non-football related situation. It's a very heavy heart for myself and a lot of our players and a lot of our coaches right now. A young man who was a student assistant with us in football passed away shortly before the game, unexpectedly, and just very tragic. And our thoughts and prayers are out to his family, Joe Backwell. And that was tough. I want to say thank you to all of our fans tonight because they were all in, and they came and they showed up and they did their job, and they were outstanding. And that's what makes all of them great. Football part of it, it's very disappointing that played, I guess, our second top 10 team and had chances to win the game. We didn't finish, and it's disappointing. But our goal every week is to improve. I saw a lot of improvement in our football team tonight, in a lot of different ways. Give LSU a lot of credit. They're extremely talented, extremely physical football team, and they're very good. So it was a hard-fought battle, and we didn't come out on the right end of that. It's very disappointing to me and everybody in the locker room. So we worked hard in preparation for the game, and I couldn't be more proud of the players and the preparation that they put into the game. We went into the game fully expecting to win, and it didn't happen. So we'll go back to work, continue to try to stay on track to improvement. We have this week off, which we're going to be able to rest up a little bit. Let's try to, again, get a lot of corrections made based on what we saw again tonight. Go back to work this week. But, very proud of the kids in the locker room. And they played very, very hard tonight, and they put it out there, and they were all in too. So that's where we're at. We'll get into some questions.
Gene, obviously there's no moral victories, but how big of a step do you feel the team took tonight from this game?
You know, I think that if you just look at the whole entire body of work and how hard they played, and you know, it was a field position game, which we knew going in that it was going to be, and we knew that it had to be. And you know, I mean, I think that it sums it up. I'm very proud of the effort they gave, the improvement they made. I love the kids in the locker room. That's the bottom line. And they block out all the distractions, and they really try to work. I told you that this week. We had 2 really, really good days of practice. I felt really, really good going into the game, and but we didn't finish. And there will be a day when we will. We're going to continue to grind and work until we can.
Gene, talk about Jonathan Wallace playing tonight.
Well, Jonathan has really made a pretty consistent track in terms of improvement out of practice. And we like him. We like his poise. He's an extremely intelligent young man when it comes to the game of football. He was very successful in high school with his team, and he earned the right to play. That's about as simple as I can put it. And he'll continue to earn the right to play some more. You know, he did some things tonight. It's tough getting in there for the first time in a game like this one and being productive. I'm sure there's some things, obviously, that we'll look at tomorrow that he can certainly improve on. But we figured that tonight was a good time for a start with him. And so I was very proud of him. He secured the ball. He made some tough yards when we needed him to, which was exciting to see. And we'll continue to work.
At the end of the third quarter, and he went in there, it seemed like the run defense opened up just a little bit when Ontario and Trey were able to find some running room.
Well, I think so. I mean, they're just, it was an extremely difficult defensive line to run the ball inside on. We knew that going in. Very few people have been able to do that. So, we felt like we had a good plan going in with some perimeter run, mixing up some of the inside runs as well. We can't totally get away from that. And at some points in there, a couple of things, opened up for us. And, again, we want to keep the game close, field position, and try to run the ball some, and hit the ball down the field a few times on some passes and keep the game close. So we were able to open up some of those running lanes there to help us do that.
The defense making some pretty big stops. Just talk about their heart and your defense tonight.
Well, I think that I won't just say our defensive heart. I'm going to say the heart of our football team. Period. Special teams, offense, defense. But there was one point in there where third downs are a big deal for us. Obviously, and they've been a little bit of point of contention for us in the first few games. I think at one stretch in there, they had quite a few third down stops in a row. We're starting to gain a little confidence, and that was really, really good to see. They hit that one on us at the end of the game. The throwback off the boot there, and we missed a tackle, and that pretty much sealed the game. For the most part, or at least got it down to the wire. But again, I'm very proud that of our defensive strides that we made. We have a long way to go, absolutely.
You made some changes in the secondary, particularly with Chizik and Florence playing tonight. Can you discuss that and their performance?
Well, again, some of those are tied into substitution packages. So, if we feel like, again, when certain guys come into the game, particularly in the secondary, I think that's where you see it most often is, if they have X amount of receivers in the game, then you bring X amount of DBs in the game. Tharizi's role was a little bit different when they brought in 2 tight ends tonight. He's a physical corner, and so we threw him in there, and he played quite a bit, in that role. So you'll see guys going in and out just depending on their roles. And so that's what you saw with those guys tonight, including Enrique.
Gene, the missed opportunities. I mean, you had a missed by on the first series, I think, a long pass play. They had McCaleb wide open on a pass play early fourth quarter. McCaleb on a kickoff return, maybe cuts the other way, he's gone. McCaleb, somebody grabbed him by the shirt and pulled him down on another breakaway. How much will that eat at you, those missed opportunities?
It's obviously something that you hope that when guys have opportunities to make plays with receivers that are open or guys that are in the open field, and, you see the right cut, you make the right cut. Obviously, that's something that that we all wish that they would see and do. The reality of the game is it doesn't always work that way. But to say that it's going to eat at me, you can't pin one game down on this guy not doing this and this guy not doing that. I'm not doing that. That was a team loss. That eats at me. But not the play of one particular guy on one particular, one play.
Gene, going back to Chizik, when did he become a DB again, and what went behind your decision on that?
Well, we still played him on both sides. Again, when you got guys that have some limited roles on either side, and you can do just a few things with them, then they can bounce back and forth to practice and get both of those done. So this week the role fit. We knew it was going to be a situation where they were going to come in with 2 tight ends and make it a very physical perimeter game as well as an inside game, and he fit the bill.
On your next to last possession, it's 3rd down and 12. You ran a sort of a draw, whatever, handoff up the middle. What was your thinking on that play instead of passing?
The thinking was that we were playing really good on 3rd down, and the thinking was that there was, I remember correctly, I don't know, 4.5 minutes left in the game, and it was all about field positions. We needed a field goal to win it, and our thought was to see if we could pop some type of inside run on them. They were dropping back into coverage that allowed us to do that, or at least gave us a shot to do it. What we didn't want to do was have any turnovers or anything that backed us up with any negative plays. So it was a field position game at that point. I said it before and I'll say it again, that if we have to put the game in the hands of our special teams, punting it and getting out and creating field position advantages, we will always do that. And then again, with our defense playing well on 3rd downs, we thought they would turn into a field position game, and that's what we did.
Coach, you said that Jonathan Wallace has earned the right to play. Does that mean, and maybe play more, does that mean that you're going to evaluate the quarterback position, or are you just trying to find a spark there? Or
well, I just think there's some things that he did in high school that he's very efficient at. So some of the things that he did in high school is really, it's kind of like what we did with Kyle last year. You bring these guys along, you give them small package. They grow in the offense in terms of what they can and can't handle. But he's very comfortable with that because he's done it a lot. So I wouldn't read anything more into that. He's gotten better and he's improved in that part of the game.
Take a few more.
Gene, can you talk about Kyle's performance tonight?
I think Kyle did some nice things tonight. There's no question about that. There's going to be some throws that that he wishes he could take back, and we do too. But overall, I think that he did some. He's improving. He's improving, and he's got to get back there and he's got to make decisions. He's got to get rid of that football, especially when you're going against pass rushes like the one that we saw tonight, and the ones that we're going to see a lot more of. But again, he's on a journey, and that journey is going to include a lot of days where he's got to improve, and I think that's got to continue to be the case.
Can you talk about the decision for Scott to coach from the field today? Just kind of the dynamic of that.
Well, going into the game, we just felt like this type of game, it'd be good to have him down there so that we could certainly be there with Kyle, look him in the eye, being able to go over what just happened and be one step ahead down there with him on the bench with what was going to happen next. And that combined with Jonathan Wallace being part of the game plan, we thought that was the right thing to do.
Did Corey really respond tonight in the first half with his playmaking ability and really set the tempo for your whole defense? Let me hear.
I think he did some nice things. I think he really played hard. I think that was really, really good to see. And he's going to have to continue to be, a guy that steps up and can elevate, the game of not just him, but that's got to permeate through the rest of the defense. And so, he made some things happen early, and I think the quarterback felt some pressure from him early, and that's the idea. It doesn't always have to be a sack, So we'll look at the film tomorrow and really look and see exactly how well he played, but he really played hard.
How far down were you going to
Last
have to go
question.
on that final possession to put Parkey out there? What was your target?
Well, our target is, he can make them from 50, but we feel really good hitting right around the 23-yard line. When we get that thing from the 40 in, we feel like it's pretty much it's in our favor.